I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Kathy Altense.
Here.
Melinda Cook.
Here.
Joy Sellers.
Here.
Patrick Sellers.
Here.
Kelvin McElwain is probably going to be late.
No.
He can't help.
He's a busy
man.
guy.
Yeah.
All righty, trustees. The first order of minutes is the approval of minutes for the May 1st, 2023 meeting. I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second, Ms. Sellers. Look at the minutes. You haven't done so already. Any questions on the minutes, trustees? All righty, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next order of business is approval of bills payable. I need a motion and a second, please.
Second.
Take a look at the bills payable.
Hey, Kelvin.
We're in the bills payable.
Yes, trustee Cook. I see a look of concern on your face.
Kinetic?
Yes, they're the ones who handle our managed services for our computers. Remember?
Oh, that's the new,
Yes.
that's the name of the.
Yes, Kinetech, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot. What's their other name? Spigot.
Spigot. Mhm.
Help his shoes on there.
Any further questions on claims and demands, trustees?
No.
No?
No, I don't have any. No, let's go.
Trustee McElwain? any
No,
questions?
I'm good.
Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Cook.
Yes.
McElwain.
Yes.
Sellers.
Aye.
Altense.
Aye.
Sellers.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Motion passes. The next order of business is the discussion and approval of fiscal year 2023-2024 grant agreements for St. Vincent de Paul Senior Resource Center, Veterans Assistance Commission, Children's Hands-On Museum, Freeport Arts Center Museum, Rebuilding Together Stevenson County. We've had our motion and our second at the last meeting, right? So it's just open now for discussion. I think we did.
According to the last minutes, we had a motion and a second, and then a bunch of other motions and seconds, and then we ended up
We're postponing.
postponing the whole thing.
Right. Okay. All right. I took the board's directive and I reached out to the two entities that the board would have some questions for. I reached out to the Children's Hands-On Museum and Rebuilding Together Stevenson County. And I asked that they would be present to answer some of the board's questions, and they are here this evening. So I will ask for the Rebuilding Together Stevenson County to come forward first and discuss the board. We can discuss with the board any questions they may have.
You guys should have this in your packet.
Yeah.
I think you're fine right there.
Okay.
Yep, you're fine right there. Okay. Board members, please.
Hey, thank you for coming today. Appreciate it. Actually, you can sit down and probably just move the chair over so you don't stand all the time.
Sounds like he's got lots of questions.
Yeah.
The church council meeting is
Yeah.
6 o'clock. And I'm the clerk, so I have to be there.
We'll be done way before
Yeah,
that.
we'll be
trust
done
me.
with that. Trust me, we take care of business.
So I think our main question was like, what's the approval? I guess we understand that there's an approval process for whether work is done at home or not. So we just want to get a better understanding as to what that approval process is and what the requirements are for someone to have work done on their home.
Okay. Well, first of all, they have to complete an application, which is what I think you all have copies.
Yep, we have the application.
They have to prove that they own the home. We are not doing rental properties. I think the National Rebuilding Together office is talking about redoing the guidelines to allow that, but with the history of rental properties in Stevenson County, we're not going there.
Yes, that's probably
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they have to prove that they own the home, and they have to prove what their income status
Okay.
is, and that's on the application also. And they can do that by providing pay stubs for the last 6 months, pension information, previous year's tax return,
Okay.
that kind of thing. Then, if it looks like they are eligible, our house captain, Robert Bush, often accompanied by Ron Goodman of G3 Enterprises, they go to the home and inspect it. They kind of assess what the homeowner has requested needs to be done, and also look at the general condition of the home, because, you know, our resources are limited. So if it's a house that needs $25,000 worth of rehabbing, we're not taking it on. And if they just need like a roof, but then it's determined if the basement has been flooded and there are cracks in the walls and there are termites, you know, it's just more than we're going to tackle. We don't want to get in a position where we're doing part of it, and then we realize there are a lot more issues, but we have to walk away because we don't have the funds.
So what makes the decision point on what are some other decision points on whether you do the home or not?
Well, Robert will bring that back to the board,
Uh-huh.
what he determines, and then we'll talk about whether or not it's something we want to take on. We generally are doing exterior work rather than interior.
Are there any requirement, like, so you have the income requirement, so like, is there an income cutoff for a certain amount of work, or, like, I guess what we're trying to figure out is, because we just heard that there have been many people who applied for this help, and they didn't get it, they were denied. So we're trying to get a better understanding as to what the requirements are.
Well, we received a number of applications that didn't provide proof of home ownership or proof of income, and that's part of the deal. And so I would send them back, you know, tell them that's what we need, and if they still don't respond, then we don't take it any further.
So is there a cost, I know you said if they needed a roof and it's $25,000, you're not, I guess that's what I would like to know. Is there a cost cutoff on how much work you will do to a home?
No, I can't give you a dollar figure. It's just something that we would talk about as a board. And we're not supposed to be up on roofs, so if we are going to do a roof, that's something we would have to hire done.
Right.
Is this normally something the board would do, or the guys that are part of this organization, they would do the work? Or would you hire the work to be done and pay for it?
Generally, do you want me to tell you what our first 2 projects were last year?
Probably gonna help.
To kind of give you some idea. The first one we did was last summer. It was a house on Hardin Street. We scraped and painted the house. It's an older brick home. We replaced 7 windows. We took down and rebuilt the front porch and added supports and railing and lattice, which went on there before, and did some landscaping. We did all of that for just a little over $5,000 because all the labor was done by volunteer. The second project was done in December, and that first home was referred to us by Craig Bentema of the Health Department. The second home was referred to us by a ramp. It was a woman, an older woman in a wheelchair who could not get out of her house for a doctor's appointment unless someone picked her in a wheelchair up and carried her out. And so during that horribly cold week in December, a team went over and put in a foundation, a landing, and a ramp for her so that she can now get out of her house. That work we had to hire done because none of us had the skill to do it. But we were able to pay for the ramp with gift cards that we received from Lowe's.
Okay.
So the ramp was free, but we had to pay for the labor.
I have a question. What are you compared to, what's the one that people start applying for windows and weatherization?
Weatherization?
Yeah.
LIHEAP.
LIHEAP. Are you similar or just smaller scale than LIHEAP is?
I'm not familiar with lighting.
Well,
There's a difference. LIHEAP helps with heating and electricity. You're talking about the weatherization program with
Right.
with NICA.
NICA,
You're
yes,
talking about the
NICA. I
weatherization
should know
program.
that. But it's Northern Illinois
Community Action Agency.
Yeah, my aunt worked there for many years. So people apply, I had a couple friends that just could not do anything as far as roof goes or windows, and they were approved. And of course, their income was, just their Social Security. But are you on the same kind of guidelines? I mean, they have to go through a process and do an application, just like anybody would here. But just so many people are able to get help with that. And I just wondered if you were, how long have you been around?
Okay, I'll tell you, we have not had an overabundance of applications. We thought we would just be flooded, and we haven't been. I think part of it is because we're kind of new. We started getting organized right before COVID hit, and that really slowed us down.
I bet.
We were meeting, in Zoom and basements with masks on. It was
Oh,
a
yeah.
mess. But we finally got our 501c3, and last year was our first year that we were able to do any work. So we are relatively new in the
Good.
community. So.
Well, you're working with a lot of your workers that you used came through the yield program that the Boys and Girls Club used. I do know that there were some homes that wanted some repairs that was mainly in the 3rd Ward, but they needed, that's why I'm asking, was there a budget? Because they were needing more than just, maybe the roof and the front porch fixed up. Are you willing to go in and help those people with that? Or, and they were turned down because of the project, and it was.
They were turned down by our
Yes.
I know there was one house, I think on Float, maybe that's what you're thinking, that it needed major stucco work. And so we found one person in Freeport who was willing to do it, but wanted $8,000. So before we even were able to do what we could do, we'd have to pay out $8,000. And we just determined at that time, that was like all we had in our bank account.
Oh, okay.
Was about $8,000. It's just
So really, you're doing low maintenance work on if somebody needed a porch, a new front porch. But I can see that this one that you did on, you did windows, you did a porch, you did
Scraping and painting.
Yeah, you did all those things to this one house for that amount of money. But are you willing to? I know that was only $5,000, but are you willing to put $25,000 into someone's home
Into
because
one
they need
home?
it? Yeah, no.
That would be a
yes.
decision for the board to
Okay,
make.
okay.
I'm inclined at this point to say no,
No,
but
okay.
that's not, carved in stone.
Okay.
Well,
And,
and there's
okay.
age before beauty. There's a lot of restrictions now. Like if you have steps that go outside, you gotta have railings. Something like that. Do you get many requests for that? Because,
We haven't.
haven't
But we
you?
might.
Yeah, because that's a law now.
And that's something that, you know, we would, I'm sure we'd be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do
Okay.
anything going through the senior center, or no?
We have
You-
had applications at the senior center.
Okay.
I think we're still there.
Okay.
So what's the, still trying to understand, so what's like the income requirement cutoff?
Or can I like expand on, how is this
you get
information
this?
on the chart related to qualification? Like,
Yeah.
you know, 30% median, 50% median, 80% median. Is it like more assistance if you're lower under the median income, and like how do these numbers relate to the qualification
I
I
think
process?
was
it's
gonna
just-
ask that too.
Is going to determine whether or not they're eligible.
So do you have to be under 80% or what? Because there's three, you know, it says they have to say which column do they fall in.
It
Three
depends on
tiers.
how many are in the household. This really is not my silo, so I'm not the one to answer
Yeah.
these questions.
Yeah, I
Um,
understand that. So you say you get
Yeah, because
50% of
if
that income or
if
what?
you're providing
Yeah,
this
not for sure.
income information, especially like, I mean, I would think if I was someone providing this, I would want to on this application know how that relates to what I'm qualifying for, right? And I'm not really seeing that on here.
I can't really give you a specific answer on that, I'm sorry.
Because for one person, 14,000, you would think maybe that's just their social security.
Poverty.
But
They're all under median income.
yeah,
Poverty, yep.
Yeah. I mean, even if you're at the top end of this, you're not probably funding your house benefits,
Right.
right?
And you're probably more likely to be, I would think, probably more likely to be chosen if all three of our homes, the two that we did last year and the one we're doing in June, were headed by a female. We're also going to be doing the home of a veteran. We're getting money from USAA for money that has to be used to rehab a veteran's home. And an older person, somebody with a disability, I guess that gives you a little bit of a leg up.
Now, this home you said you're doing in June, where is that located?
That is on East Garden.
Mm-hmm.
That
That's
was
where I-
referred to us by Diane Yoakum.
Mhm.
Rita Hawkins is a friend of Diane's.
Mm.
Um,
That's where I live. Used to.
So what are you going to, you mainly use this money for? Is it for the is it for whatever you need it for, or is it for a specific thing?
Whatever
or-
we need, we buy, you know, we have to buy lumber, doors, windows, paint. We're required to have a porta potty at every work site.
Mhm.
Dumpsters. The first project, we thought we would buy with one dumpster, we ended up selling 3. We feed the volunteers, that's one of my jobs. And those young kids,
eat their, yeah.
I guess personally, at this point, I'm not, because this is $30,000.
Uh-uh.
How much was it that they're
I don't know. Was it? No, I thought it was.
request for?
Oh, it is in the notes.
30.
Oh,
Yeah,
30?
it's
Oh,
30.
okay.
So,
aim high.
no, the dollar amount itself isn't the concern. I'm still not comfortable with how homes are chosen. Like, how does the information on the app translate to defining who's eligible? And it sounds like it's just like a total judgment call in terms of, well, if we put this roof on, I mean, if we put this porch in, but there's other stuff that's got to be done. Like, where's the line, or how is that decision made on?
Priorities?
Well, no, in terms of like, if, like you say, a house is too far gone to help with a porch or help with windows, how is that decision made on if a house is too far gone where it doesn't justify making the improvement?
Okay, I know what you mean.
I just don't think I have enough. And it sounds like you don't have that information, which if you don't have it, yeah, I understand. You just don't have it. But I think for me personally, that's information I would need to have before to give a yes or a no. I'm just not quite sure of what that approval process is. Like how a decision is made to make the improvements on a home. It just seems like there's more to that decision process. And unfortunately, it's information you don't have. So,
Well, just as an example, you wouldn't want to put, $15,000 in a home that is dilapidated and falling apart.
Right.
I used to use the expression throwing money down a rat hole.
right. So I guess, and I think that's where I would want to have a better understanding of how was that determined. Because I think we heard one story of someone who wanted to, and it might be the case of the wheelchair ramp that was going in. It was located on the east side in the flood zone area, and that it got approved, I guess, but it was a struggle. It was a battle to get it approved because it was in
Flood zone?
on the flood zone. But so that's kind of concerning because it's a ramp to get in it, someone to get in and out the house. It shouldn't matter if they're in the flood zone or not. The person still lives there and have to get in and out the house. So that's why me personally was trying to get a better understanding as to what the process is for, approving a home or not. And I don't know, maybe if we need to hear from someone who does have that information.
I think Reverend Fairman would be probably the one
Okay.
who would do a better job of explaining that.
Okay. All
What is
right.
his role in the program?
He chairs the board. He's the president.
Okay.
He was not available today, neither was Brian Prawl, who's the head of the selection committee. I was the only one available.
So they used you.
And we definitely appreciate you coming.
Yes, yes.
Definitely appreciate you coming. And it's just, if you don't have the information, you just don't have it. It's not a
right.
ding on you or anything.
Yeah.
So, it's just.
Yeah, I understand. your
Yeah,
concern.
yeah.
I
So,
just don't have
yeah.
a complete answer.
Right.
So if somebody would be eligible for NICA to get part of the work done, would they be able to come to you to maybe get,
Do some.
just to kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
really work together and then get it taken care of so it doesn't appear to be, not worth fixing.
Right.
We did work with a woman from NICA in the beginning. I can't remember her name. I think she's retired since then. But she said that they tend to do more inside work, and we, at least in the beginning, are tending to do more outside. So that would be a good partnership. Possibly.
The NICA gentleman on Winter Drive had new windows and a roof put on by NICA. Yeah.
Nice.
And, he was so thankful because it was his mom's house and his mom's passed away and then he didn't have a job. So, there's all kinds of things that can happen. But I would think it would be nice if, if you were able to work together and let's say you could do this part of it and then maybe the person qualifies for, the big part. Because putting a roof on, even a small bungalow, is not,
It's expensive.
yes,
Yeah.
very expensive.
Are there any more questions? Okay. Well,
Can we make a motion to possibly delay this one until we can get more information, or do we have to just deny it?
Oh, you can
No.
make a motion to postpone.
Make a motion to
Probably
postpone.
appropriate.
Yeah.
Some more information.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make a motion to postpone approval of the Rebuilding Together grant until we get more information on the income requirements and the selection for choosing a home.
Do you want to set a date for
Which
that?
grantee?
He
He
said,
said-
he said rebuilding
Rebuilding
together.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
That's okay.
Second,
Do you want to put a date on that, like the next meeting?
Yes, next
Okay,
meeting.
so that would be
Or-
June 6th.
or we can see when availability with someone that knows the information.
Yeah.
We don't want the same information.
Would he
and-
be available June
Well,
6th?
hold on a second.
If, I'm just trying to get clarification for
Oh, but-
the minutes.
But, okay, I understand that.
All right.
I will reach out to Pastor Fairman and I will ask him his availability. Okay? I will suggest June 6th.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect.
Upon his return email, if he says June 6th is fine, I will let the board know. So for the agenda, have it set for June 6th.
Okay,
Okay, and if he can't make it, I will let you know. And if we need to amend the agenda, we have to do it at that time. So I will reach out to Pastor Fairman tomorrow and try and get a response from him as soon as possible, and let you guys know as soon as possible. Okay?
Great.
okay, so but just for clarification, I'm going to put on here for June 6th or whatever date is available for Reverend Fair, is that his name?
Fairman.
Yeah,
Fairman?
FAIRMAN.
Okay. Okay. Trustee McElwain,
Yes.
you said you would like the information. What information would you like?
The exact income eligibility requirements.
Okay.
Like how
Did
this
you get this?
relates
How does-
to getting
Right,
to,
how does-
He got
to
it?
the
Yeah.
decision
Oh, I didn't know if
making
he got it.
process.
Say it again.
Like how this income information on the application relates to the decision making process and qualification.
Got it.
And then the general like decision making once you qualify. Right?
Yep.
What's the
Got it.
amount of work that you're willing to?
Yeah, like what is the maximum?
yeah.
What is like the range, potential range of a project?
Because I would like for him to have the questions that we're going to ask so he can have the answers for us.
Yeah.
That's how we'll do that. Okay? Okay.
good.
We can do that. We can do that. So we have a motion to postpone.
We have a motion, but I don't have a second.
Second.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joyce second.
Did you?
All right, yeah.
Okay. I
So
didn't hear that.
that's okay. So you got June 6th down there or?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. All righty. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks
you
for coming.
very much.
Told you you'd be done in time for your church.
All righty. Next up is
Thanks
the
again.
Children's Hands-On Museum. Please, guys, come forward.
Slide our chairs kind of over.
Well, if you could, you guys can sit in their chairs over there.
All right.
If that would be,
Do that.
if that's fine.
Take care.
Thank you. Excellent, 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 excellent. So,
I will say at the onset that my right hearing aid broke, and my doctor called at like 4:15 to say that it's repaired, so I don't have it yet. So if I ask you to repeat something, it's simply because I didn't hear it. My left hearing aid is turned up as loud as possible, but it's my deaf ear, so it's not as helpful as you might think.
okay. Well,
But I
understood.
understand that the board had some questions about the proposal that Sean had submitted for funds to help with current exhibits as well as a potential new exhibit. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you give us your name and the exact spelling?
Yep. So
Okay.
I'm Alex Valencic. The spelling is Valencic. I am the current president of the board of directors for the Children's Hands-On Museum.
Excellent. Thank you.
And I also have with me Gwen French, who is one of our other board members and part of our exhibit committee, volunteer committee, just about all of the committees.
I've
Okay.
been with Chom since 2015.
All right. Excellent. Okay.
What sort of like, not attendance? Is that the right word? Like, how many people are you seeing like in a month?
About 800. And this time of year, I've been helping to coordinate the field trips, and we have been just inundated. April and May, everybody wants to get out of their buildings. So even times that we're not open, we make accommodations for field trips to come in for their own times. We had evening times for parent and children together activities through ROE, Regional Office of Education. They've done several preschools. I'm on the first name basis with the director over there. But also individual schools are bringing in their whole first grades. We have various schools coming in as well. So this time of year, we're maybe a little heavier than we would be other times. But even through the winter, a lot depends on weather. I was in helping to volunteer on a Saturday. That was a gorgeous day, and not as many came in. Kids were out at the park. But then on a rainy day, we get a lot more. So.
How is it staffed? Is there, like, you're the director, is it like a lot of volunteer staff or paid staff?
It is volunteer staff.
Yeah, we
All
have
volunteer.
almost entirely volunteer staff. We have one paid position that is our volunteer coordinator. That is a part-time job. That individual is paid. We set the job description and we just changed it. And I'm trying to remember exactly what we set it at. And I'm blanking on what it is, but it is not a very significant amount of money for that one individual that's paid. And it is, otherwise we're relying entirely upon our volunteer staff. Many individuals who are retired are the ones serving as our volunteers on the 3 days of open, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
So I know when you applied for the grant, you wanted the money to be used for children that, can't really get in there to see and whatever. So I know was it like 35?
That's for the new, that
30
exhibit.
No, it was 3,500. You remember
Oh.
everything was 3,000 for this, 3,000 for that.
Right, Joy.
Yeah, so I'm saying those were the things that you wanted the money for. So I want to know, what is your plan on helping these children to be able to come and see the exhibit? What is your plan on how to use this money for these kids to be able to come? Not just your kids that they're coming anyway, but the kids, that's what you asked for the kids that aren't able to come.
So for example, we want to be able to work with the school districts in Freeport. We included a note that Empire Elementary School did a family night where they brought their students to the hands-on museum for an evening. We had reached out, the principal at Blackhawk Elementary had been interested in that, but she recognized that with her building being on almost the opposite end of town, it's much more difficult for those students to be able to go. So part of that money could help with transportation to be able to bring the students to the museum, because the museum, we can't bring the museum to them. So that would be sharing that information with the school district, and not just the Freeport Public School District, but also the other schools in the community, letting them know that we can help offset the cost.
Well, I guess you lost me on that one. So you're saying that Blackhawk School is wanting to, I know you said Empire School brought the kids there, so why is it hard for Blackhawk to bring their kids there?
Blackhawk is further away.
No, but I'm saying they have the same school buses,
But because it would be outside of school hours generally, and also the school district has a shortage of bus drivers. So Empire, they didn't provide transportation. Families found their own way. They walked to the museum or they had their own vehicles. But Blackhawk, because it's a further distance, there might be some families that'd be willing to walk to the museum, but we know that it's further away, and we wouldn't want them walking all the way from Blackhawk's community to
Harlem.
where Chom is, where it's along Galena. So that's where that difference comes.
So the families basically took care of getting there themselves
Yes.
for Empire.
Yes, and the principal for Blackhawk had said that they're a greater distance, so that was her.
So you don't do anything through the daytime for kids like that? Oh,
we
okay.
do, but they have always been, almost always paid for by the parent-teacher, by PTOs, to fund for the buses. Occasionally, they'll ask for, some dollars for the students, from the students themselves to come. And we think our field trips are very reasonable for a class of 30 students. It's $75 for them to come. So they have to pay for the bus, which is usually more expensive than that. Unless it's on a day when we are not open, and then we charge $100. So it's even still, we find that the schools around here are more than happy to pay what we require, rather than go to Rockford or other places for field trips.
Oh, I guess I thought we were looking at kids on, not just that are.
Yeah, we've had other ideas too, Joy. We thought about, offering free admissions to,
Right,
for
that's what
instance,
I'm-
at the Martin Luther King Center, offering buy one, get one free. We've got all sorts of tickets that we can write out that could be redeemed.
Well, no, I was thinking with you being close and the walking distance is nothing, are you working like with housing to help those children to be
Right
able?
across the street.
Yeah,
basically.
right, that's what I'm saying. You know, and a lot of them
Let's
kids
go
might go to
home,
Black Hawk. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, that's what I was looking at. Are you looking into helping children that are just not schools, but other organizations or other areas where you might just have, hey, buy one, get one free night, and we're paying for the other thing or something like that.
We're open to all of that.
And we have had similar, last year we had an event with Voices where they paid for the admission for all the families to do an event for Voices at the Children's Hands-On Museum. And we were able to promote that and provide buy one, get one free tickets afterwards to allow families to have a way to come back, so it wasn't just a one-time option. And specifically with the schools, we are talking about doing family nights, which are outside of regular school hours, which is where the transportation, it's a little bit easier to schedule during the school day when it's just a field trip, but if we're trying to do a family night where families can come in with their children and have that experience together to see what the museum has to offer. So we really want to try to continue to increase exposure and understanding of what we have to offer the community.
Now you say you're only working with schools in Freeport?
Currently,
Is there a reason
no.
why you're not going out
Well-
to like Pearl City, Dakota, Lena?
They come in on their own, and we found an awful lot of it.
Good.
Stockton, we had a field trip from Stockton, we've had Lewin. Warren, for the first time, came in about
that's probably the
maybe
furthest
3 weeks
away.
ago, and they had not, there were parents that came along with that field trip that said, we didn't even know you were here.
Uh-huh.
And we hear that a lot. And we think it's wonderful. Now you know we're here.
And-
And so then they come.
Especially, let's say seniors that are looking at colleges and they're really interested in art and they're thinking, I'd really like to see this to see if this is really what I want to go into. And so the smaller schools, both my kids were in a smaller school, and it made a big difference because they got to go to different places and see, like I want to do urban planning or something like that.
I'm curious, because my concern is less that $10,000 other stuff. Yeah, great, get more kids in, especially local kids that might not be coming in otherwise. One, what is the age range that this caters to? It's mostly my understanding is kind of like a discovery center type is the goal. So what are the other exhibits that are currently in existence? How does this car service, super service center fit in the realm of that? And what would be other examples of exhibits that could happen other than that?
if you could take the
Yes.
first half and I can take the second half about the
Okay.
specific exhibits.
Yeah, we truly are age is virtually inappropriate. I mean, insignificant. Under 12. We have a top spot that goes down to crawlers, and we have active things for builders and flight simulator for older children. We have a science area that's STEM mostly. Really, we have art. We have a state-of-the-art sensory room that goes for everybody, especially autistic. It's been wonderfully funded by a family that had an autistic child. And we have a stage, we have costumes, we have the music room. I was the music teacher. And so we
You're my
have
music teacher.
Yeah, see, I get it right.
Very
We were in
cool.
theater together, you and I.
Yes, Barb, I knew I recognized you from something. Sure. Yeah, theater and art and drama. And we have the murals that had been out at Oakdale. are now on our wall. They got rescued from the,
Before they took that building down?
pardon me?
Before they took that
Before
building down?
the bulldozers were out there, and
Yeah.
the people rescued it, the Audubon Society rescued
I
it.
remember
And
those.
And we renovated those, we had our people come in and do that, so we have the 4 seasons. We really cater all the way up to age 12 well. And then beyond that, we've had volunteers from high schools. And I mean, this week we have the Hoya students coming in to help clean when we're not open. So we put a lot of children and teens to work and to play.
So in terms of exhibits, I know we had originally included the car service station exhibit. We did find out that the museum that refurbishes is no longer selling any of those. So we're looking at, there's several different options for exhibits, and what we want them to all be are things that will allow children to really get that very literal hands-on experience with something that is a part of the greater Freeport community. So we recently had our full-scale cow replica that is a milking cow that we unveiled it just a couple weeks ago, where we know how big agriculture is in this community, and students can actually have the opportunity to see what is it like to milk a cow. And we actually had, our cow is named Blossom after Orangeville's Blossom, and Blossom's owner came down and was a part of that unveiling. We've also looked at the possibility of different STEM-minded exhibits where the prices, there's a wide range. There could be from a dynamic floor of $6,500 that has a projector in the ceiling that has a lot of interactive displays on the floor, all the way to, there has been discussion of wanting to get a Star Lab, which is an inflatable planetarium. Freeport School District has one, but it is 40 years old, and the last bulb finally burned out a couple weeks ago. The company does not make those bulbs anymore, so the Star Lab is no longer usable.
If you have the shape of the Star Lab, you could easily modify that with a projector, and everybody would just eat it up because everyone loves Star Lab. My other everybody's favorite thing at Discovery Center, everyone. It's the bubble it's just a hula hoop and a pulley. It costs virtually nothing. I've made one myself for an event I did, and like I'd love to see that. You know what I'm talking about? You see everybody's childhood memories are like pulling that little hula hoop up, makes a bubble that goes all the way around you. You know?
I haven't.
You didn't go to Discovery Center when you were little? Everybody loves it.
Do that
You know what I'm talking about? No?
I know what you're talking
very,
about. Wisconsin.
Very easy to rig up for probably under $1,000, not even. Like very simple, provides endless hours of awesome STEMmy entertainment for children.
I
The
guess
static ball, another classic. I
We
can't imagine
do
that's too
those,
expensive
like-
either.
What we're wanting to do with our exhibits is have ones though that give students a hands-on view of something that might introduce them to a future career. The static electricity balls are a lot of fun, the bubbles are a lot of fun, but there's no careers in making bubbles.
I disagree, first of
So-
all. Not true, but
I would love if they would take jobs
direct-
in education.
the
I'm
job-
an educator, but
Yeah, me too. And what that bubble thing does for every child that's ever stepped into it is cause a significant degree of wonder and magic that inspires them generally. When we think of what kids need, it is not, I need to know how to fix a car. It's inspiring
Imagination.
that excitement for like things they don't understand and wondering how is that, why is that, or even that is a possibility. So I think, especially with children, we need to think a little less literally, and this whole like funneling kids into like job. Yes, but not as toddlers. As toddlers, we need to inspire
One of
joy
the other
and
exhibits
magic.
that we truly are, the exhibit committee is very much in favor of, would do exactly that. It's a light wall. It's light bright, but you touch rather than find the little pegs. You know how many of us picked up the light bright pegs as parents? But it's called Ever Bright, and it is, depending on the size you get, can be up to $30,000.
So how long have you guys been in existence here in Freeport?
Depending on what realm of existence. In the building, we opened March of 19. We started putting ourselves into that building in November of 18. But we had been in existence, got our 501c3 about the very end of 2014.
So you started working with kids
Yes,
and
we were
doing.
pop-up exhibits all
Okay.
around schools, parks. You need us for your art event, we would come in and bring things. And we got tired of schlepping everything around, and we said, okay, now's the time to really begin. And it took a huge capital investments by a lot of people.
So what would make you, or what would make you feel that we would need to give you this much money for that just one project? I mean, that's a large amount of money, plus you want all the other money. It wasn't that you just came in for one thing, you had a list. So, I guess that's what I'm asking.
Can we say something?
Yes.
We didn't come to you.
No.
Patrick came to us.
Oh, I didn't know.
No,
I
they
didn't
didn't
know.
come to us. No.
Oh, okay.
Patrick came to us.
Right.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I
And we
didn't
were
know
like,
that.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
alone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and say, like, our
Okay.
exhibit budget is a very small budget
Mm-hmm.
because we rely primarily on donations. So when Mr. Sellers came and said, the township is considering this,
Yeah.
can you
Oh,
give us a
never knew that.
proposal? We're like, here's a chance to dream something way bigger than we would be able to do
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I
without
asked
like
the
a
question.
very long-term savings. So I think that is important to note that if Mr. Sellers hadn't approached us, our exhibit budget would probably still
Okay,
be our
okay.
line item of about $5,000, which would be mostly, let's make sure that all of our pieces in the top spot aren't accidentally choking hazards, and make sure that we're cleaning things and moving things around. So it was the opportunity to dream something big
Okay.
to really help put CHOM on the map, because there's still people in our community who don't know that CHOM exists, or that they think of it as like a preschool museum. So they're driving to Rockford, they're driving to Madison, and we're like, we have a museum right here in town that you could go to. It's also a whole lot less expensive than driving to Rockford or Madison.
Okay, no, I never knew that. I
Yes.
thought you guys had approached like the other people
If we
approached.
had known,
Oh.
we probably
Yeah.
No. Yep. They were brought to my attention
Through.
by our CFO. For the last couple years, she has been talking to me about the Children's Hands-On Museum. And I finally said, okay, let's go take a look. And I went out there and I was impressed, thoroughly impressed by what they had.
Oh, okay.
Me being a science guy, I love science. When I went to the STEM room, I was in heaven, man. I thought it was just great.
And he's
So-
more than 12.
So yeah, I'm a little bit more than 12, not too much more, but I thought that this would be a great opportunity, especially for enrichment for our children, and so that's why I brought it to the board.
And it continues, for generations.
So it sounds like the concerns, or the main questions were around how could the money be used to get more students involved who aren't able to get there today, and the type of the type of displays
Exhibit.
of exhibits to where maybe is more wonder and igniting the imagination versus the career piece. I think both are probably valuable and have a
Yeah.
place.
That doesn't mean
For
we
sure.
couldn't get both.
And I think that's what I'm,
with that amount of money, we really could.
So
And
you're
the service station,
continually,
again, that
The
one.
service station is no longer available,
No,
it's
and that's the big line item on the
Yeah.
on the request.
We
There's
put that
otherwise
as-
$10,000
Yeah.
for like
got it.
family nights
Mhm.
for grade schools and Boys and Girls Club and stuff, refurbishments and repairs, special events, and then 30,000 for the that exhibit. So I would
I don't have a problem with the 10
the 10 would be
or
mine.
even 15 if they.
Yeah, like maybe a little more, maybe get some bubbles.
Yeah.
I really cannot overestimate like how, and when I made it, like everyone who the bubble thing at Discovery Center is
She likes it.
everybody loves it. I swear, Joy, ask your kids.
so is it continually changing as far as your exhibits, or,
Parts are.
okay.
Parts are. We have what we call farm to fork, and we really have a barn and a farm. And the kitchen, you never know. Is it going to be the sushi kit? Is it going to be the pizza kit? Is it going to be, the different things come into
That's
the kitchen.
cool.
Yeah, and so it does change. And we've done a lot of seasonal. From middle of November all through Valentine's Day, we had holidays around the world. depending on Mother's Day, various things. Yeah, depending seasonal things.
Whenever I would take my daughter when she was little to all these things, I know beyond like career paths, a great thing I like to see in children's museums are things that teach like life skills, like cleaning or like organization and like
the bank.
cooking and stuff.
Yeah.
More,
Solutions
which is
bank.
generally something lacking in education. So life skills.
Yeah.
Life skills, which is a really great thing for like all ages and especially like special needs and stuff.
What it,
I make a
Oh.
Go ahead, Kelvin. I'm listening.
no, what's your motion?
No, I was
Oh,
gonna
wait,
say
no.
let's make a motion. I mean, to give them the 15.
It's the board's decision. You guys decide.
Second.
Okay, that's for discussion.
Okay.
Discussion, right?
Yep. Go for
Okay.
discussion. Maybe that's
What
fine.
if? What if we went with the full 30, but then, because a lot of times things come up, a lot of times these grants come up for approval year after year after year. What if we did the 30 just, as a one-time shot for them to get some exhibits and things done? Because it sounds like it would be a one-time expense.
If this museum became a more serious thing, you would have to have paid staff. It would and then at which point budget would be needed
Right.
to expand. Yeah, if it was like out there and successful, you could not function. A museum cannot function entirely on volunteer.
So if this would be like just a one-time shot to try to get them to that next level, like, what if we gave the 30,000, kind of knowing that we wouldn't give that amount, we would not probably give that amount again in the future unless it was really justified. But this would be an opportunity for them to kind of
Get ahead of
up
it.
the game.
Get
Yeah.
ahead of it.
Over the hill. Over the hump.
Because it does seem like this is something that this area doesn't have. Especially, even if we made ties to the 30,000 where it would have to include, like you already have, like there's already the focus on the career piece or educating kids about career, which I think is very important because I think a lot of kids, they don't think beyond what they see in their house every day. So they need a place to see what else they can do with their lives other than what they just see in their house or on their street. So, so I think that part is very important. But I understand what you're saying too. Just the fun stuff that just broadens your imagination, like at Discovery Center. So if this $30,000 can help get them in a place where they have both there, that could be such an asset to the community.
I just want to see that mapped out more before
that's
giving
what I
that
was
amount of
gonna
money.
Yeah, I would like to see what they did come with the car, if they came with, we can do the 15 right now. 5,000 is, like she said, you can do a lot, getting things. I mean, they can always come back, but have it kind of wrote out, itemized on, we'd like to get this, and this is how much this costs, we'd like to get this is how much this costs, and we can see it. I can agree on that one a little more than just jump up and give you and say,
So what if we did the same thing, postpone until we get the more itemized list of
But
programs we spent?
that might take some. I mean, I'm just asking you. Would that take time?
Oh, no, we
Yeah.
will. Oh,
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying.
I
You
would
know
have
what?
an itemized list by the end of this week. Because our exhibit committee is very thorough and they have their wish list of things that I could very easily pull from that list, and it would be very dependent on what the township is saying. Here's how much we are giving you, then I could say, here's what we would spend that money on.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
And
about.
we can, we can move that wherever you want on it. If you say you're giving us $1,000, we can give you an itemized list of what to do with $1,000. If
Okay.
you say 30,000, we can give an itemized list for 30,000. That'll be more than just one thing, because that's what I'm hearing is that
Yes.
one single exhibit, you're not as open to have, but if there's a few that are still high interest ones,
Yes.
we could definitely provide that for you.
So we could,
All the room.
Right,
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 Yeah,
right.
we got-
Yeah.
Got to find space.
Yeah.
so I guess if we could get the itemized, I guess I move to, well, there's a motion to second on the floor already, right? So we gotta vote on that?
No, you can, but he can move to postpone without a vote on the motion, right?
Well, the motion was to postpone to the next meeting for this budget, I remember that.
No,
Motion was
for
15,000.
Right.
15,000.
There was a motion and seconded by Sellers to, and
$15,000.
Cook, to donate $15,000 and seconded by Cook.
Not
He-
donate, enter into
Yeah.
a grant agreement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no donation.
Enter into a grant
Don't
Okay.
donate.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes, you can make a motion to postpone to the next meeting.
Until we get it itemized.
You don't have to vote on the previous motion.
Okay.
So that would be
So-
June 6th.
Yeah, so make a motion to postpone to June 6th with the itemized information on what would be, how monies would be allocated to the exhibits, and also for transportation, getting more students there, that where transportation is an issue, or kids is an issue. I feel like the Blackhawk example, which makes total sense, so.
I need clarification.
All right.
Calvin.
Now, to postpone what until June 6th?
Oh, postpone the Children's Museum grant request.
Just want that on the record so it's
Yeah.
clear.
Right, so it's
Yeah.
clear.
Children's Hand-On Museum.
Second.
All righty. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, you guys know what they're asking for, right? I don't have to email anybody and tell them, right? You guys know?
What is the number you want the proposal to break the itemization?
Yeah, that
Could we
needs
see
to,
it at a couple different levels? Like what would 5,000 look
Right.
like? What would 10? What would 20?
How about 5,
20.
how about 10, 15, and 30?
that sounds
Okay.
right.
10, 20, and 30. Might as well have that.
Yeah, 10, 20, and 30. That's easy.
Mathematical
Can I
session.
use your pen?
You sure can.
Yeah.
Right, 10, 20, 30.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Nice and clean.
Yes.
All right.
And thank you.
Yes, thank you guys very much. All right, we are still on grants for tonight, guys.
Well, now
We're gonna vote them out one at a
Thanks a
time,
lot.
all right?
Well, yes, vote.
Yes.
All right, let's do this.
We're gonna vote them out one at a time. So, right
Thank you.
now, we are looking at the St. Vincent de Paul grant.
So we already have a motion and a
Already
second
discussed this.
for that, correct?
Yes,
It's done.
yes.
Yes.
So, do we do a roll call vote now? You guys want to have a discussion more
We
about
have
it?
a, can I just say, motion made by Alden C. and seconded by McElwain.
Okay.
So that motion still stands, correct,
Yes.
Mike?
Right.
Are there
all
any
right.
discussions about the St. Vincent de Paul grant? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Okay, just a second here. All right, Cook,
Yes.
McElwain,
Aye.
Sellers,
Aye.
Alton C.
Aye.
Sellers.
Aye.
Okay.
That one off. Next is the Senior Resource Center. Any discussion?
I don't.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Cook,
Yes.
McElwain,
Aye.
Sellers,
Aye.
Alton C.
Aye.
Sellers.
Aye. Motion carries. The next is the Veteran Assistance Commission. Any discussion on the VACSC's grant? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Cook,
Yes.
McElwain,
Aye.
Sellers,
Aye.
Alton C.
Aye.
Sellers.
Aye. Motion carries.
All right.
I like the seller's grant.
No.
Nice try.
No, he'll
Nice
take
try,
it.
Joe.
He'll take it.
No.
Thanks, Barb. I
No,
forgot that one.
absolutely not.
No seller's grants, nobody's grants.
No, no, absolutely
Oh
not.
my goodness, Mike, you take all the fun out of life.
All right, the next order of business
Great job.
is the supervisor's report.
What about smart art?
Did we do smart art yet?
Oh, we voted that through last week? Did we vote?
No, we didn't vote that through yet.
We gotta do smart art.
Yeah, we gotta do the next the
Freeport Art
Freeport Art
Museum.
Museum grant. Sorry.
Oh, I thought we did.
No, we
No.
didn't.
No, we
We
did
just
not.
postponed all of
We
that.
postponed
Thank
all
you,
of
thank
it,
you.
yeah.
Any discussions on that? Madam Clerk, please call the roll. You two don't say a word.
Oh, that's right. Well, they have to abstain.
Well, I have to
No,
record
they
it as
have to say
abstention.
They abstain.
Okay,
Right.
okay, okay,
All right,
I
good. So
abstain.
just a minute. Let me go do this so I'm organized. Cook,
okay.
Abstain.
Thank you.
Sellers,
Abstain.
Alton C.
Do I say aye or abstain?
No, we don't, you don't.
Do you have a financial interest in the Freeport Arts Center?
No.
Do you receive any money from them? And you
No.
have no disabling conflict of interest?
Right.
Okay.
So, yes or no?
Yes.
Sellers.
Oh, yes.
You forgot.
Just a minute. I'm not done. I'm not done.
Messing
McElwain.
with you.
Aye.
All righty, motion carries. Thank you, Trustee Cook, because I totally had forgotten about that one.
I crossed it out on my paper.
We almost voted for
The
it.
votes will reflect 3 ayes, 2 abstentions, but the abstentions by the rule of the second district of Powell Court go with the majority.
But I
All right.
recorded as abstentions though,
Right.
correct?
They go with the majority.
But when we do sign the paperwork for this contract, we don't have to put on there who,
No.
how they
No.
voted. Gotcha. Okay, just so I know. All right,
All right.
now you can go.
The next order of business is the supervisor's report. And I don't have nothing to report.
Oh, wow, good.
Thank you, Jesus.
Wow.
Oh,
That much? Give me a break here, okay.
Ooh, I didn't want to hear that.
The next order of business
Wait,
is the
we know
assessor's
she ain't got
report.
nothing.
I have nothing to
See?
report tonight.
Oh, okay.
Double Yahoo. Everything is good in the assessor's office.
Everything's good in the neighborhood.
That's right. The next
Yeah.
order of business is the trustees' report. Trustees.
Oh, I got a book report I want to give.
I hope not.
Oh,
No, I don't have anything.
I
Okay.
do want to say that my heart is heavy. I'm going to miss you guys.
We're
It's
gonna
been
miss
a
you.
hell of a ride, and I've enjoyed all
I-
10 years.
You better come and
It's been
visit.
so much fun to just laugh and get things done and get the job done. I
Now
feel
you gotta
so
get
proud.
serious.
Yeah, I do. I really feel so proud.
You're gonna
That is
bring
one thing
humor.
I always tell people is how great the Freeport Township is and the board. Please don't make me cry. Please.
You're gonna make me
Francesca.
cry, Joy.
I love you guys. I really do.
We love you too.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you
And
for
you come and
everything, Joy.
visit us, okay?
Thank you, thank you.
And
Yeah.
thanks for
We are
putting us
like
on your-
a constituent.
You
Come.
gonna be
Yeah,
in
there you go.
Yeah, don't hit the mic. Don't hit the mic on us. All righty. Next
Drop
up
the
is the
mic.
public comment. Any public comment? No? Okay. Any other business coming for the town? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn until Monday, June 6th, 2023 at 4:30 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, go ahead, Calvin.
Oh, no, you take it. It's your last one.
No, go ahead.
Yep.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Yeah.
Motion carries, meeting adjourned. Thank you, guys.